I'm Victoria Green and I own and run VMove Estate Agents in Lancaster.
She's been practicing that. I am Sam Ashdown and I own and run Ashdown Jones in Windermere, the Lake District. And we're here to tell you about a series of tips we're doing all to help you sell your house more effectively. So whether you're on the market or you're thinking about going on the market or you've been on the market for ages and you're struggling, these top tips are designed to help you. And if you'd like to get in touch with either of us, just message us on the page that you're on and we'll be able to tell you how to apply these tips to your specific property. But today we're going to share with you 3 top tips for viewings.
Absolutely. So our first top tip for viewings today is that when you are doing a viewing, whether you're conducting it yourself or your agent's conducting it for you, make sure that they get the buyers, the prospective buyers, into the best room of the house first and quickly.
Makes a big impact, doesn't it?
Makes a huge impact. They then come with a really good feeling. Those first crucial seconds are the optimum time to get them to the right place.
I actually read that it takes 8 seconds for me to decide if I want to buy your house.
To make a decision.
Yeah. So if you're in a really smelly porch with all your wellies, it's probably not the decision that you want. So
or if your lounge is 6 seconds from your porch, you need to look.
Gotta run. So ideally, in those crucial first, let's say half a minute, you need to be in the best room in the house.
Yeah, so they come with a good feeling.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
At the end of the viewing, they really need to be in the second best room of the house, so they leave with a good feeling as well. So you get good feeling at the beginning, they leave with a good feeling, and everything else in between is less important than those 2 rooms. So those 2 rooms are crucial.
First impressions count, last impressions count.
Absolutely.
So it's really important to make sure that, you know, and actually quite often the second best room in the house is the master bedroom. We quite often find that, don't we? Especially got a nice master suite, you know, maybe Juliet balcony or big ensuite or something, then that's usually the second best room in the house. First best room in the house, what kind of room could that be?
That could be a wow kitchen. Could be an absolute wow kitchen, or a really cosy lounge that just showcases the whole property just in that one room. Crucially, when you're selling your house, those buyers are going to spend just as much time in the reception rooms as they are in the master bedroom. So, which is why the master bedroom at the end really works.
And those buyers, that is going to be their bedroom almost always.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's top tip to number 1. Make sure you start in the best room, end in the second best room, or the estate agent does. Top tip number 2 is how to avoid the garden close. Now, what we find as agents is when we're conducting a viewing, because we always accompany all our viewings, when we go into the house, we do the best room, the second best room, and then if we were then taking them into the garden, and if they can see their car from the garden at the end of the viewing, then they can quite often say, thanks very much, bye for now. Yeah. And that's only one look around the house. It's probably not long enough for them to have really bonded with the house and made a decision to make an offer. Now, of course, there's always exceptions. Sometimes they're going to race around the house and say, yeah, this is the house for us, and put in an offer while you're standing in the garden. But what we want to try and make sure is that that person has spent as much time as possible in your house. If they're spending 20 minutes and it's a 4-bedroom detached home, it's probably not long enough to make a decision. If you can try and keep them talking for half an hour, we've had viewings of up to 2 hours, and you probably have as well. And if you've got the owner's permission to make a cup of tea, which is even nicer, then people can sit and have a chat and really get a good feel for the house. So to avoid the garden close, you really need to bring people back into the house, preferably to the first best room in the house. So it's usually in the kitchen, and sit and have a chat with them there. And then you can say, would you like to have another look round? And hopefully you'll avoid the garden close. So that's top tip number 2, avoid the garden close.
Fantastic. So top tip number 3, especially as the spring's quite crisp this year, is to have the warmth in. So make sure that if you know you've got a viewing and you're out at work all day, you have it set on a timer, or alternatively show your agent how to turn it on just to get that warmth, that immediate warmth into the home so that people aren't cold. It also means they can take off shoes, coats, scarves and
Make themselves more comfortable.
Feel more comfortable when they're looking around, and it's not awkward with bulky coats on. So
that's a good point actually. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
But we've got a house with us at the moment where one of the rooms, actually a bathroom, is extremely cold. And what happens when the viewer goes into that room is they're going to just feel instantly cold, and therefore we need to try and mitigate that and make sure that room is as warm as possible. That might mean putting an extra heater in there, opening the door, making sure that the window's tightly closed, and just really accounting for it. So it could be that we need to arrive there half an hour beforehand to put the heating on to make sure that the house feels really nice and warm and cosy. And of course, warmth is equated with welcoming, which is equated with home, and therefore it'll make people feel more at home.
especially if you've got tiled floors
Oh yeah, tile floors.
and
Yeah.
no shoes on.
No shoes on,
Yeah.
no underfloor heating.
Keeping it warm,
Yeah.
it's key, isn't it?
It is absolutely key, yeah, exactly. So we're sharing with you our top tips of how to sell your house more effectively with me, Sam Ashdown from Ashdown Jones.
And I'm Victoria from VMove.
So look out for the rest of our tips series and message us anytime if you'd like any advice at all about selling your house more effectively. So bye from us both.